Five Nights at Freddy's 6 has finally dropped, and boy did it explain a lot about the series, but I've seen in my comments a lot of people are still confused about what the final scene of the good ending actually tells you. So if you haven't seen the final scene yet, check out the card in the top right, it'll direct you to that video. The basic idea of this video will be us watching through the ending together, and I'll come up with some analysis for you as we go through some interesting parts. Let's begin.
You played right into our hands. Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you? No. This was a gift for us.
Okay, so a lot of people are confused about this. My takeaway of this is that all of the animatronics were actually called together to fulfill their purpose of entertaining children. In FNAF 2, we actually learned that all of the animatronics were programmed to follow the sounds of children, so they go to wherever they hear sounds to entertain them better.
You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place. Just for us. A gift. Now we can do what we were created to do.
This is what I was referring to earlier. This is what they were created to do, to entertain children. I believe the souls are the spirits of the kids trapped inside the animatronics.
And be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy.
I think Baby says, "I will make you proud, Daddy," because Baby can finally fulfill her tasks.
Watch. Listen. And be full.
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth. If you still even remember that name.
I think Elizabeth is the name of that child that we saw get trapped in Baby in the FNAF Sister Location cutscene.
But I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You are not here to receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume.
I think the gift is the ability to entertain children, and the person that she was called by is William Afton. I think that she didn't recognize William Afton in Springtrap because she can only recognize human faces, and William Afton was encased in the Spring Bonnie suit.
Although you have indeed been called. You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection, and misfortune.
The guy that's talking here is called the Cassette Man, and what I think he's saying is that they were all lured to this place due to the sounds coming out from the Freddy Fazbear simulator. For those who don't know, my take on this is that the whole game is based around us creating a simulation to draw in the animatronics. It's not really a real restaurant, and you'll see as we go through the end scene why.
A labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you in endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near, yet somehow out of reach.
As the restaurant manager, as we're doing our little orders and doing all of our errands, this is probably the sound that we play in each of the rooms that he's talking about that lures the animatronics to certain areas.
But you will never find them. None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you.
My take on this is that the job listing was actually made for Mike Afton, and Mike Afton's not even playing in the office there. Whoever is talking here probably wanted to gather everybody who was involved in the 5 missing children incident and end everything altogether. I think his intentions were to free the spirits of the children remaining from that incident, and also to end the immortality of Mike Afton and William Afton. Unfortunately, he didn't actually capture Mike, he captured this poor individual that ended up taking his place. And honestly, I think that person is us, the player. I don't really have a law-based solution for this, and I think everything here is like a letter from Scott to the fans. So this person here is literally you, the person playing the game.
Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away.
This is probably the only line that would suggest that the person we're playing as is Mike Afton. He could have had somebody within his own company or just somebody that he knew that he wanted to come and take on this job position. But this line here, the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away, suggests to me that everybody involved in the 5 missing children incident and everything to do with Five Nights at Freddy's, the series as a whole and the lore behind it, are going to be destroyed. All of the perpetrators and all of the victims can finally rest in peace.
As the agony of every tragedy should. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still Give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears.
When he says this, a picture of Scrap Baby and Molten Freddy appear on the screen. As you know, in Sister Location, there are rare screenshots of both of these characters, except they're Funtime Freddy and Circus Baby in that game, and these characters have children hidden inside of their animatronic bodies. It is these children who I think will find peace, and the animatronics themselves can finally turn off. And for those who didn't notice, this isn't just an artistic image of the animatronics burning, there actually is a fire in the labyrinth. You can see in the bottom right hand corner, there's a number that's rising. That number relates to the temperature.
Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, friend.
A picture of Springtrap appears here, and it's quite clear that there's a human hand poking out from that suit. A very pink hand at that. Perhaps a hint to the pink guy in the series? I guess that confirms that William Afton really is the pink guy. But it looks like he's not gonna have a very good time in the afterlife.
My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours.
This scene has caused a lot of confusion because he's basically saying that the crying child is a girl. In FNAF 2, we had an audio prompt that said, "Save him." It spelt out the word "save him." So everybody thought this whole time that it was a guy. Nope, it's a girl instead. And guess what?
And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content.
She's the Marionette. Yes, this guy's daughter is the Marionette. And I'm just going to skip back a bit so we can confirm that this is the crying child. We can see there what look like tire prints next to that girl that's laying there. That girl is the crying child because we can see her in the window of this scene, who is referred to as the guy who's talking's daughter in this scene. So this is very familiar. The crying child's out there crying. This is a better angle showing the crying child dying. And here's the crying child dead. So this little montage of the Marionette here certainly confirms that the crying child was the Marionette, who is a girl, who is this person's daughter.
And to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then. So let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you, and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends for all of us.
This scene pretty much confirms that the Marionette really did give life to those animatronics, Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, and Chica. And it seems that this confirms that all of them were also killed by William Afton. They're all tied by the same killer. Nobody could save them, so she gave them life again. Life in the form of animatronic beasts. Just for extra proof that the crying child is a marionette, I'm going to play the secret marionette minigame. You get this from the security puppet minigame. And what happens here is the marionette tries to save the crying child, who has the green band. The marionette can only save children with the green band. So the marionette jumps out of its gift box. You can see the crying child jumping around out there, disappearing, so the marionette goes after her to see what's going on. Unfortunately, it's raining, so it doesn't look like the marionette can last that long in the rain. As you can see, it just fizzles out. You can see like electrical sparks fizzing out of it. Walks across all the trash, and then we can finally see the girl lying next to the tire tracks of the car that the pink guy takes. The pink guy, aka William Afton. And notice that the marionette doesn't have the tear lines in that minigame. Check this out. The marionette clearly doesn't have the tear lines under their eyes, but after the crying child inhabits the marionette's body, we can see that the marionette adopts those lines under their eyes. So hopefully that explained that whole situation for you. A lot of people have been wondering why he refers to this girl as the puppet and Elizabeth as Circus Baby, and Elizabeth and this person's daughter is not the same character. They're not the same at all. Elizabeth is Circus Baby. The daughter of this person who's talking is the marionette. This ends for all of us and communication. They all die in a fire. Now, another huge question that people ask is, who is this guy talking? And the only thing that I can say to this is William Afton's friend, because he says here, when we see Springtrap on the screen burning to a crisp, So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. This is an old friend of William Afton, but to make it easier for everybody else, everybody's been calling him Henry because that's the name of William Afton's business partner in the books, I believe. I believe that the person who's talking here is the owner of Fazbear Entertainment, and William Afton is obviously the owner of Afton Robotics. The reason why I think that Henry, William Afton's old friend, and just keep in mind that I'm just calling him Henry because that's what the community calls him, and we don't really have anything else to work off except for the books. This is like the one time I would ever refer to the books, but keep in mind that if we didn't have the books, I would be calling him William Afton's friend. Henry, this character, owns Fazbear Entertainment because he sent out the job listing that this character that we're playing as took. And of course, William Afton owns Afton Robotics because the company is named after him, and we learned in Sister Location that he fitted the animatronics with some questionable features. Just quickly referring to the number in the bottom right, this could refer to the temperature in the room, which I believe most people believe, but in case some people believe this is an oxygen indicator, it would be just as normal because oxygen is being expended here, and as that goes down, this number goes up. So no matter what way you look at it, this refers to a fire being set in this labyrinth. Obviously, this whole scene is taking place as we're looking at our computer screen, the one that we play through the whole game in front of.
Congratulations on completing your work week. We apologize if your situation wasn't presented to you in a completely honest fashion when you first started, but it was important that your intentions and actions be genuine.
See, this is another part of the ending screen that makes me think that Scott wrote this as a letter to the fans. From the beginning, everything wasn't presented genuinely to us, and particularly the whole idea of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator being a pizza tycoon game only, instead being FNAF 6, is a big deal. Really, Scott was being genuine, but not completely genuine, because we did run a Pizzeria Simulator in this game.
Honest fashion when you first started, but it was important that your intentions and actions be genuine. Here at Fazbear Entertainment, we value fun, family, and food. But more importantly, we value our commitment to atoning for past mistakes and tying up loose ends.
And see, here's another line suggesting this. It's Scott saying, "I'm sorry that the law has been so complicated. Here is something to help you out."
Thank you for your participation. There is no need for you to return to work next week, as Fazbear Entertainment is no longer a corporate entity. Please accept this certificate of completion. Goodbye for now, and thank you for taking this journey with us.
Now, the interesting thing about this is a lot of people are saying this part at the end suggests that it's the complete end of Five Nights at Freddy's series. He's not going to release another Five Nights at Freddy's game. That could be true, and I would love another series to fall in love with, to be honest. However, he just said that Freddy Fazbear's Entertainment is no longer a corporate entity. So what's stopping it from becoming a family business or being run by one person? There's also a lot of lore that can be covered in further spin-off games or further just random games that act as prequels or in-between-quels. I don't know what you'd call those. Just think about all of the story that could be told when Ennard gets ejected from Michael Afton's body in Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location up until Five Nights at Freddy's 6. Also, we haven't really had a game where we play in Fredbear's Family Diner in, so that would be awesome as well. It's not the complete death of Five Nights at Freddy's, but we gotta put this into perspective. And that perspective is, there is the possibility of more games, but I wouldn't be surprised if Scott went out of that realm. Just pausing here because we can note that it says William Afton and not Springtrap there. PJ Haywood is the same person who voiced Mr. Afton in Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location, and we know that that guy was the leader of Afton Robotics. The person known as the Cassette Man was the guy talking to us at the end, talking us through the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, talking about his daughter, talking about Elizabeth. He's the guy that we're all calling Henry, aka William Afton's friend, and created by Scott Cawthon, with a final message telling us, "This game is dedicated to the fans. It's been a pleasure making games for you." Another message that suggests that Scott's gonna stop making games. I don't personally think so though. He's still got a lot of juice in him yet. That's not the end of the story, because if you access all of the secret lore in the minigames, you unlock a new ending screen at the end of the good ending credits. Here's what that looks like. Some people refer to it as the grave ending. Here we go, the end finally. So what we can see here, it's basically a screenshot, nothing moves, and it's got some nice atmospheric sound in the background, very peaceful stuff. We see a butterfly on one of the gravestones, a little ladybug there. We have here 6 tombstones, which people believe are the guards from each of the Five Nights at Freddy's games. In clear view, we can see 4 of the names, Gabriel, Fritz, Susie, Jeremy, and in the background there's another name. It's kind of hard to read, but what I've heard a lot of people saying is that it's Elizabeth Afton. I personally believe Michael Afton could fit here. It's pretty hard to see. At this point, it's pretty much a huge guessing game. And on the far right of the screen, we can see a grave that's covered up with grass, and that is the final guard Many people believe that to be whoever we are in FNAF 6. Another reason why more games could come out is to reveal the name of this character. One of the reasons why I thought this person we play as is us is because this grave is covered, or it could just be, as I said earlier, Scott's keeping it a secret to surprise us with another game later on that explains who it is. Same thing with the tombstone in the back, even though we can sort of read what it says, it's just too small for us to make anything out. In fact, it might just be that scribble that we can see under these names with no name above it. How unfortunate for that person. The only thing that I can see that's weird about these tombstones referring to previous night guards is that we can definitely recognize Fritz and Jeremy, but who are Gabriel and Susie? Yet even more stuff that can be revealed with further games. Also, I don't remember Jeremy Fitzgerald dying in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I remember he was just terminated. If this is Fritz the night guard, then that could be true because you often hear people say that the victim of 1987 is Fritz because he takes on the day shift after his final day at Freddy Fazbear's. But honestly, I cannot find any solid evidence for that. What these tombstones could be showing are the names of the children who died in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 because we see the name Susie there. Susie could actually be the name of Henry's daughter. Remember, Henry doesn't actually say Susie's name in his dialogue, so this might be a hint towards that being her. This final screen that we see could be telling us, hey, it's okay, all of the children's spirits have finally been put to rest. Here are their names, besides two of them. And the guy in the back could be the child who died in Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Then again, if these are the children who've died throughout the series, where's Elizabeth's grave and where's Molten Freddy's grave? We can confirm at least 7 deaths across the Five Nights at Freddy's series involving children, but we cannot see 7 tombstones here. We only see 6. Another reason as for why that could be is, in the Midnight Motorist's secret game, we have a secret area within this game that shows what looks like a grave site. Over there in the top left, between the trees, you can see what looks like a mound of dirt, and it's kind of like somebody was buried under there. This could be the location of the buried 7th child. It's a little bit weird that the orange man can only access this area, so a lot of people believe that this is William Afton and this is one of his first victims. Which means if his child really ran away, and his child is the child from FNAF 4, then this might be William Afton's daughter Elizabeth, which might explain why the main character from Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is so scared of the animatronics, because he knows his sister was taken away by one of them. Why they would bury her in such a strange location, I don't know. And it also wouldn't make sense that she is buried if she's inside of Circus Baby. It could be indicating that her grave was dug up, but really this whole thing is up to interpretation. All of these minigame secrets and cutscenes can be found in this playlist, so tap it now to dig deeper into the lore, or check out these videos which were picked just for you. Remember to tap my face to subscribe and to tap that bell for more FNAF and horror game theories that actually make sense. And Prodigies, I hope these videos help to expand on how you think. See ya!